Um, I'll double check this one. Um, but my Outlook wasn't capturing the screen capture. But hopefully you can like see me typing and things like that. So library catalog's really good. Suicide rates has been difficult to quantify because of the stigma over like the 20th century, 19th century. So oftentimes they will just the 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 declaration of death will be described in ways that is not suicide. But with later interventions in our current century, suicide ideation allows us to figure out a lot more, and the reduction of stigma in our society has helped with a lot of this as well. So I would say 20th century, maybe not so great. Um, First thing, USA.gov keeps data on, in particular, the Center for Disease Control keeps information on this, but USA.gov, suicide, if you just do suicide rate and not put in a specific population, you'll see that the Center for Disease Control shows up really big. They have suicide data statistics, facts gleaned from data, evidence-based, et cetera, et cetera. If you add in transgender, is that too recent of a document to show up in statistics? Maybe so, because all of the scientific literature on transgender is kind of like taking off with the political movements that are happening post-COVID, especially, I would say. So there's probably going to be more articles in here than there is going to be solid data sets. So this would be sampling. These are really great. National Library of Health, National Institute of Health, National Library of Medicine. All of these are going to be really great. Great place to start. You might only be able to get a token sample rather than like a broad United States population sample, but this would be a great place to find some of those rates. They might not be collected on the state or city level, but there's information here. How do we find information from U.S. government or other U.S. or other governments, other U.S. governments? There's a great database that, well, there's two. Let me show you instead of my longer video. One is called PAIS. This is public policy, and another one's called sociological abstracts. PAIS looks at governments and their reporting. So some of this is like cities and municipalities reporting out on interventions for suicide and things like that. So if we put in, go to advanced search, and then you can put in suicide rate with a star. Out in the open web, it'll truncate and expand on things, but we have to deliberately put in a star, which should do rate or rates. And then I'm going to do suicide. No, let's just do suicide rates. We'll start off with this. So PAIS, it's like if there's a municipality that has a transgender population that they are addressing, as in like civil rights or recognition and things like that, then the article will be about that. But this could be like all over the world. So there's Australia, New Zealand, expanding services, prevention about. So these might be articles about an intervention. If you go into these, it might give you the data stating the problem. Since these are typically free countries putting these together, and democracies, the data, you might have to decide whether it's good enough or not. But a lot of these are their own research. Another great database, but that's a good one to look at. But you can see the research didn't take off really until the pandemic. Another great database to do that same search is Sociological Abstracts, which looks, instead of from a government perspective, it's looking at like a study of society and culture and humanity as we interact together. And that's just under S, Sociological Abstracts. Do the same keyword search and see what you can't find. And again, I apologize for the video before. Hopefully this will be better. Now I just have to figure out how to stop the video.